Hello, my fellow viewers. This is the Positive Film Buff with another video focusing on me remembering the old days. A decade ago, I used to live in New South Wales, in the town of Lawson, and it was during those old days that I and my family often went on several outings to what I still consider the greatest city in all of Australia, Sydney. Every time we went to Sydney, it was always a delight, seeing the sights, visiting Darling Harbour, and traveling on the railways. Sometimes we even did some exciting things at Sydney, like stay at a hotel, or go and see a show called The Magical World of Disney on Ice, which actually kick-started my true love for Disney. But in those happy days at Sydney, there was one attraction that I really wanted to go to, but didn't have the skill or chance to do so, and that was the IMAX theater located at Darling Harbour. This place showed lots of movies in the biggest screen in history, 50 times as big as any other movie screen in Australia. And all the movies were shown in the IMAX format, which is also 10 times larger than the average film format. There were a lot of interesting movies that were shown in IMAX, and they ranged from documentaries talking about space or nature to current feature-length movies that were either filmed or converted to the format. For a movie buff like me, it looked amazing, but I never had the chance to see a movie at the IMAX theater until 2011, when I finally went there with my class at high school on my last day at school, where I saw the IMAX film Hubble 3D. It was a mind-blowing magical movie experience, as I fully experienced the true magic of the IMAX format, and it has remained one of the best days of my life. Now today, as Sydney's IMAX theater plans to reopen its doors hopefully soon, and as other cinemas reopen and start showing older movies, it has made me decide to make a video of me counting down the top 12 movies released in the IMAX format that I would most love for the IMAX theater to replay at their cinema. All of those movies I have seen and loved so much, and a part of me really feels like it would be more amazing to see those movies in this wonderful big format. And here they are. Number 12, Aquaman. I could have picked any film from the DC Extended Universe to be on this list, but I went with Aquaman because not only does it deliver such a big, action-packed, epic story, but in my mind, it's honestly the DCU film with the most amount of dazzling visual effects. Number 11, Star Wars The Force Awakens. The legendary comeback to one of the greatest film franchises of all time truly succeeds as an awesome blockbuster, a worthy entry to the Star Wars saga, and my all-time favorite movie of 2015. Number 10, Dumbo. In my mind, live-action remakes of Disney animated features have succeeded in giving those timeless classic stories a bigger scale and a bigger sense of epicness. And Dumbo is no exception, being one heck of a spectacular show. Number 9, Star Wars The Last Jedi. The writer and director of this Star Wars installment, Rian Johnson, aimed to create the most powerful Star Wars film since The Empire Strikes Back, and he succeeded, and thanks to his magnificent efforts, this film actually became my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Number 8, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Two of the biggest installments in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever are so equally magnificent, with a breathtaking story, marvelous characters, and glorious action. Both of them deserve to make the cut here, as both of them prove to be such an amazing triumph of superhero movies and blockbuster films in general, ending up becoming my favorite film of all time, in fact. Number 7, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. A breathtaking story, scene-stealing characters and performances, spectacular action, and non-stop fun and excitement not only gives The Rise of Skywalker such an epic closure to the Star Wars saga, but it also proves to be the most dazzling in terms of visuals and scope, and reminds us of what Star Wars really was to begin with. A glorious fairy tale in a sci-fi setting brought to life with an excellent sense of filmmaking. Number 6. Superman Returns. With the movie world being dominated by lots of superhero movies, I've begun to believe that Superman Returns is one of the most unique films of the genre. Focusing on a more powerful and dramatic story rather than the action, but still also taking full advantage in giving us a lot of visually dazzling sequences, all of them showing what a true wonder Superman is. Number 5. The Jungle Book. Move over, Avatar. You've got another film that made a mark in showcasing one of the most visually dazzling uses of CGI ever. All shown in this Disney remake that blends in the elements of the animated film with the elements of the original book to create a version that's bound to take your breath away. Number 4. Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road is a perfect reminder of why we always go to see blockbuster action movies in the cinema, because this movie was such a fantastic action film, a fantastic epic spectacle, and a magnificent example of the power of visual storytelling in film. All aspects that are tailor-made to be shown on the IMAX screen. Number 3. The Lion King. The original Lion King is my favorite Disney animated movie ever, and this remake did it complete justice, completely retelling its old story in a completely dazzling form of filmmaking and animation that blurs the line between the two mediums. Truly, this is a movie that is made to keep on playing in IMAX theaters around the world. Number 2. Interstellar. Just like with Aquaman, any movie directed by Christopher Nolan could have made the cut, but the cut rightfully goes to Interstellar for being one of the biggest ever space adventure movies, as well as one of its most original, with an extremely amazing scope and visual style to boot. And number 1 is Fantasia 2000. One of my all-time favorite Disney movies and my favorite films in general, Fantasia 2000 was actually the first ever full-length motion picture to be released exclusively in the IMAX format. And this was a beyond spectacular movie to make that achievement. It gloriously brings Walt Disney's original vision for Fantasia back to roaring life, with magnificent music and glorious animation that I believe took everyone's breath away when they saw it in the IMAX format. It's hard not to agree with one critic who called Fantasia 2000 arguably the greatest Disney film ever. So those are my top 12 films released in the IMAX format that I believe need to be re-shown in the IMAX theater in Sydney when it reopens. Every single one of those films was so amazing. A part of me really does feel that the experience of seeing those movies would be bigger and better in the IMAX format. A film buff can only dream. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed viewing all of my positive thoughts on everything that is IMAX. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video that can make your day so positive in a big way.